Okay. John, you are no science boy. Actually, gonna be able to look at it? No. Take the scalpel. Rust is a common theme. I don't have any forceps yet. There's the forceps. Okay. Grab the fake organ. Key. See the other table. Grab that. There we go. Grab liquid. Liquid. Where's the three I needed? Yeah, forgot to reorganize my desk. Got access to paper. So I cannot remember which chemicals I need. Let's see. 3. 2 ammonia is 4. I can't remember how many ethanol is. Yes, Snake is incredibly hard to kill. He's a very motivated person. Salt. go. Carbon dioxide. Enter that. What? Making sure, because there's a conversation. Here we
Think
go.
we should go back?
Yeah, I think that's probably best.
Welcome to point 3 that we have to actually solve. Well, if I am not mistaken, anyway. The conversation about Ice 9 that we had just a few minutes ago, by our time, unlocks a conversation here.
Hey, Seven, what's up?
Oh, well,
Is that a medicine bottle?
I got curious about it. Here.
Ethylene diamine tartrate?
Yes, you remembered this conversation.
Yeah, that's right. CDT.
What kind of medicine is that?
It's not medicine. I think it's an industrial strength detergent.
Why would they have something like that here?
Well, probably to clean stuff up.
Clean what up?
Fuck if I know. Still,
And quit poking me with chocolate, guys. Come on. Don't want to have to take another shower.
it looks like it's cleaned my brain up.
You remember something?
Yeah. Well, I remember a story about EDT. Happened about 50 years ago.
Yeah, Junpei probably should drink this.
There was
but
this
not
factory
right now.
somewhere in America making big old EDT crystals. They were making it to sell as an industrial strength cleaner, like I told you before.
And quit rigging my shower.
But a year after the factory started up,
I get no respect.
something strange started happening with the crystals they were building.
Can't say I deserve it, but I still don't get it.
Water molecules started attaching themselves to the EDT crystals. This made them into a sort of mutation of the original crystals, called a hydrate. Once the crystals turn into a hydrate, though, it's useless as a cleaner. The factory had to just dump the crystals. As a hydrate, they were useless. But it didn't end there. After that day, the same thing started happening in EDT factories everywhere, even ones nowhere near that first American factory. They'd been making crystals the same way, with the same materials and the same equipment and environment. But now, all of a sudden, every single crystal they formed turned into a hydrate.
There's a meme for you. Blast
In
from
fact,
the
ever since
past.
that day, no factory anywhere has been able to make a pure EDT crystal. Even in EDT research done years before, they'd never gotten a hydrate. But after it happened at the first factory, it just spread. It was like, man, how do you say it?
Like the molecules were communicating with one another, transmitting information in a way humans couldn't perceive. This phenomena spread throughout the world, right?
Yeah, that's it exactly. But how did you know?
I heard another story, kind of like that one.
When?
In the freezer?
What? The freezer?
That's about the right reaction to hearing that, yeah.
Yeah, June told me.
So he begins to relate the story to Seven here.
Ice that doesn't melt at room temperature, huh?
That sounds familiar?
Yeah, hold on. I feel like I can remember something. It's right there.
Do you?
And we have to make this choice to continue towards the good ending.
Do you know about Ice 9?
Ice 9?
Why are people in chat conspiring against me?
Ice 9. Ice 9.
I will get that gif of Monokuma doing ballet in front of Ishimaru.
Ice, ice, ice.
Baby, too cold, too cold?
That's it. I remember now. That woman, she's on this boat.
That woman?
Alice!
Who's Alice?
Come on. The woman who won't melt at room temperature.
Huh?
So, knowing about Ice 9 manages to unlock a little bit of his memories.
You know how the Titanic sank on April 15th, 1912, right?
Yeah, more than 1,500 people died. Worst maritime accident in history. What about it?
Did you hear about the boat that was sent to collect the dead bodies?
I think that was the RMS Carpathia, right? It was a cruise liner, just like the Titanic.
No, that was the ship that picked up the survivors. The ship that collected the dead bodies was the CS McKay Bennett. The McKay Bennett showed up on April 17th, 2 days after the accident. It set out from Halifax, a port in Canada, and recovered 306 bodies. The Atlantic that far north was really cold. It would have to be for there to be icebergs and stuff. Anyway, the bodies they pulled out of the water were frozen solid.
This isn't a very nice story. So, what happened next?
Well, they say the McKay Bennett recovered something more than just dead bodies. There were various bits of stuff floating around in the water. Things the drowned had carried with them, or stuff that dislodged as the ship sank. One of the things they found was a coffin.
A coffin?
Yeah, a wooden one. The craftsman who made it must have been pretty skilled. It wasn't just a wooden coffin. It was all wood, no nails, no reinforcements, no gaps in the wood anywhere. The thing was airtight. The crew got pretty curious about what might be inside it and opened it up.
I think they actually did find a coffin, but there was nothing of note inside of it. In real life.
They had to get a wedge and hammer it open. It was so well made. Inside.
But this part is, as far as I know,
guess you
complete
should say
fabrication.
They found the dead body of a woman. Her hair was thick and black, and her skin rich brown with no blemishes or signs of decomposition. They say that she looked gorgeous, like a goddess.
We are on a ship. That's why we're talking about ships.
She was obviously dead, but everyone who looked at her said she just looked like she was sleeping. Her skin was so lifelike, she looked like she might wake up any minute. And she didn't, though. Like the rest of the bodies they found, she was frozen solid. Eventually, the McKay Bennett finished searching and returned to Halifax. The 306 bodies were unloaded and taken ashore. However, it was warm enough that they began to thaw. They say that the stink was horrible. But there was one body that didn't thaw. And that was...
The girl in the coffin.
That's right. Everybody thought for sure that she'd melt and start to rot like the rest of them eventually. But weeks passed and nothing happened. And a month passed, and another. It was summer, and she was still frozen solid. After a while, people started to say she was some sort of miracle. Rumors about her started to spread. People came to visit Halifax from all over. After a while, people started to call her All Ice. Alice. Of course, those rumors didn't last long.
Why?
Well, she up and disappeared. One day Alice was there, the next day she wasn't. They say someone snuck into where they were keeping her and stole the body. With the body gone, the rumors followed pretty quickly.
Did you just put something together, Mabrynthia?
After a while, no one remembered her. You might be able to find something about her if you could find a newspaper from back then, but that's about it.
Wait, you just said that she was on this boat.
Yeah, I did. Alice has got to be somewhere on this ship.
Now why the hell would you say something like that?
Because I know.
And just what is it you know?
What happened to Alice after she was stolen?
All right, tell me. What happened to Alice?
Well, around that time, the word was that there was a special black market in New York. All millionaires from all over the world. I've heard that Alice went up for auction there. The person who won the auction was Lord Dashiell Gordain.
This person does not exist in real life. Just saying.
You've heard that name before, right?
Lord Gordain. Oh, isn't he the guy who bought the Gigantic? The Titanic sister ship?
Yeah, that's him. Although I guess he hadn't done that yet.
What do you mean?
Gordain bought Alice in 1912. 4 years later, in 1916, he bought the Gigantic. And he hid Alice somewhere on the Gigantic. But nobody knows where. He died in 1931. And apparently he died without ever telling anyone where Alice was hidden. However,
what?
Well, he did have one close friend who asked him, "Where is Alice?" And he said, "Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge beneath the navel of the Gigantic."
What the hell is that? Is it some kind of riddle?
Your guess is as good as mine. So that's it. Whatever you think, I believe it. She's hidden somewhere on the Gigantic. In other words, she's hidden somewhere on this ship.
Hey, what are you two doing over there? Stop wasting time and get over here.
Okay, we're coming.
Jeez.
Yeah, so anyway, that's the story. It might be useful someday. Don't forget it.
Might be useful.
Alice. Huh.
That mummy wasn't just a normal mummy. They say that she was frozen.
Yes, that is Wendy Lee.
The story says that from the time of its discovery
Clover
all
is.
the way through to when it got put on the Titanic, even though it was carried through the desert, her body never melted.
Yeah, the library puzzle can get annoying, mostly because you gotta do a pixel hunt with it.
Then was that Egyptian priestess Alice? Did the water in her body become Ice Nine?
No, that's nuts. There's no way somebody like that could exist.
Okay. Get that. Just because I want to make sure. Just because it's probably going to make me look at them first. Okay, got liquid. Get leg. Blue liquid. The other leg. Make purple. Okay, I'll do it in there. I believe that's all the body parts we need. Where was it? There we go. Okay. It's gonna let me do this. What do I have to do to... Okay, I had to click on the doll itself. That's right. Yeah, the fake stomach does kind of look like a nose. That is true. Get the key.
Hey, hold on.
And now Decision Point 4 is coming up.
Oh, what's up?
Where's Clover?
Huh?
We have to have a little talk with Clover.
Oh, God damn it. Where the hell did she go? Okay, just hold on a minute. I'll go get her.
Sure thing.
Boy, can you imagine actually having trivia? Can you actually imagine having that trivia murder party with Nonary game info? Ooh, that would be kind of rough.
Hey, Clover, what's wrong? Come on, let's get out of here.
So, you might recall that Clover is a little bit worried, to say the least.
What are you doing? Did you want to come back here and say goodbye to John? Hey, Clover, can you hear me?
In other news, Junpei still completely sucks at consoling people.
My brother might be dead.
Huh?
You might remember we got this conversation last time we were in this room.
That's why we couldn't find him.
However, the first time we did it, we hadn't gone through door 4. We went through door 5 before we came to door 7.
If he's dead, I'm going to be next.
What are you talking about? What's wrong with you?
But we have to get to something here first. What do you want to do? We just happen to have the bookmark with us. With a clover on it. Which has 4 leaves. For Clover, who's wearing the number 4 bracelet.
Oh, yeah.
So yes, this actually turned out to be important.
It's in my pocket somewhere. Here it is.
It will keep Clover from taking up an axe and murdering us later. Yes, it is kind of important like that.
A 4-leaf clover. Hey, did you know? Each leaf means something. Hope, faith, love, and luck. That's what a 4-leaf clover stands for.
Yeah, Clover is terrible at choosing, Yes, we are going to door 1 after this. Clover is terrible at choosing code names. Because she chose her own name.
Take it. Use it as a good luck charm. Listen to me, Clover. No matter what happens, you can never lose hope. You have to remember what's most important, and that's to have faith and to have love. If you can remember all of those, that'll bring you good luck. Snake, I mean, your brother, he's not dead. He's alive, somewhere. I'm sure of it. You've just gotta believe in that.
So,
Thank you.
we have just managed to avoid being axe murdered.
Thank you.
Now come on. Seven's waiting for us at the exit.
Wait.
We've
before
got
we
more
go,
story
there's
to go
one
through
thing
here.
I want to ask you.
What's that?
What do you think when you hear the word experiment?
It's a good question.
What?
Oh. I guess it was just a coincidence then. I mean, that you knew about the 4-leaf clover.
Look, I'm sorry. I don't want to be a jerk, but you are making less than no sense right now.
I don't want to be a jerk, but I'm going to be a jerk. Because I'm Junpei.
Oh, no. It's nothing. Just forget about it.
Oh, don't give me that. You really think I could just drop this? What is this experiment you were talking about?
You promise you won't tell anyone?
Cross my heart.
Really?
Really?
I can trust you, right?
Of course you can.
No, you can't.
Okay then, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what happened on this ship 9 years ago.
Wait. On this ship?
Yeah, this ship.
Junpei doesn't betray anyone. That's later. With different people.
It was an experiment to test some sort of psychic thing. Communicating through these fields that you can't see.
Fields that you can't see?
Like, think about this.
Oh yeah, he's still a jerk. Anyway, I should probably narrate this, because this is starting to become actually important here. She pointed at the operating table. On top of it was a somewhat mismatched medical mannequin whose parts had been swapped with another mannequin.
This is John, right? But is he really John?
Huh?
All Junpei could think was, she has finally completely lost it, and I am still a huge jerk.
Isn't this like Locke's socks?
And yes, this is actually a thing, Locke's socks.
Or the ship of Theseus?
That too. Junpei grew even more confused. He'd never heard of either of those things, although they sounded smart.
You don't know? You haven't heard of those paradoxes?
No?
Junpei shook his head.
Really?
Clover laughed.
Okay, well pay attention then. This is how Locke's socks works. Let's say I've got a pair of socks. They're my favorite socks. One of them gets a hole in it. What would you do if that was your sock, Junpei?
So, because it's Junpei, he'd probably throw it away, but let's go with patch it up, because that's where the story actually goes.
Well, I guess I'd patch it up. Get some cloth and close up the hole.
But what if another hole opens?
I'd add another patch, I suppose.
What if another hole opened after that?
Another patch, I guess?
Well, let's say you just keep adding new patches. Until eventually, the original cloth of the sock is totally gone. Once you get to that point, can you really say they're the same socks you started with?
Well, that's tough.
Junpei crossed his arms.
So, that's the Locke socks thing?
Yeah, the ship of Theseus is a lot like it. The ship of Theseus. If you keep fixing the damaged parts of a ship, eventually it ends up with none of the parts it started with. Can you really say that ship is the same one you started with? And what if you took all the old parts from the first ship and built another one somewhere else?
It'd probably be a very broken ship.
Then which ship is the real ship of Theseus? The one you repaired, or the one you built with all the original parts?
It was an interesting question. Clover could see Junpei was intrigued.
Hey, do you think it's the same?
It might not actually matter in the end, but it is a thought experiment.
What's the same?
These guys. Is this John, or is it Lucy now?
Junpei looked at the operating table again.
Uh,
A mannequin full of body parts from a different body. Clover had been right. It It was just like Locke's socks and the ship of Theseus. Blech, Theseus. The part of the body that holds a person's identity is the head. Of course, for many hundreds of years, conventional wisdom had held that a man's identity resided in his heart, or any of a number of internal organs. And here they had both.
John's head and heart are both his, but apart from those and a single arm, the rest of his body was once Lucy's.
Was that mannequin really John?
We're just like these mannequins.
She looked at Junpei again.
Think about it. The cells in our body change every day. Old ones die and new ones are born. Maybe part of my arm is made of stuff from a fish I ate once. Or maybe part of your right side is made from a cow you ate. If you take it a little further, those cows and fishes are made from something else too, right? That's how we're all connected. Through fields that can't be seen with the naked eye.
The silence was broken by Seven.
Hey, what the hell is taking you two so long?
Seven's head appeared in the doorway. He was not happy.
How long are you gonna make me wait? We don't have time to screw around.
Junpei and Clover looked at each other. Clover looked at Junpei as if to say there was more she wanted to tell him. She shook her head. Whatever she had to tell him, she didn't want to tell him in front of Seven. Seven seemed to catch on.
Oh? What were you two doing? Was this some sort of secret meeting?
No, it wasn't. We were just...
Yeah, we need to eat more cows and more fish and all become psychic. That is exactly how life works.
Just...
playing with the mannequins.
Huh?
Let's go, Junpei.
Moving a little bit too fast to be entirely innocent, Clover headed towards the exit. Seven stared after her, then turned to Junpei with an amused expression.
Playing with mannequins, huh? Didn't know you were into that kind of thing, Junpei.
You're a dick.
So are you, but, you know. Junpei dashed past him and traced Clover's path out of the door. Chick-fil-A is beneficial for no one. Ever. With a short laugh, Seven followed. They stood in front of the door. Junpei took out the Jupiter key.
All right, I'm gonna open it now. Is that cool?
You don't need to keep asking, just do it, all right?
The cowfish.
Fine then.
He slid the key into the keyhole and turned it. He felt it unlock. No, seriously, Chick-fil-A is a place I refuse to ever eat at again. But, you know, that's just me. Beyond it lay a simple white hallway. There was no fanfare or confetti. Obviously, there was no one there to applaud them. They simply walked through the door. That was it.
All right, let's get going.
Hey, man, what's up with you? You're so serious, you know? Can't you sound more happy, you know, get a little excited?
Not really.
Junpei turned away from Seven and took his first step down the simple white hallway. Chick-fil-A is a company that makes basically chicken sandwiches, and that's what they're really known for. And they also tended to support some causes that I very vastly disagree with.
My brother might be dead. I'm going to be next.
Clover had told him only a few minutes before that her brother was probably dead, and she was likely to follow him.
Like hell I can. Not after hearing something like that.
And now we're going to retread some old ground. Which you should be used to if you ever played this game.
The key?
Ain't that what I just said? I'm talking about the Jupiter key. We found it in the operating room. Right, Junpei?
Yeah.
Junpei nodded.
Oh, the solar system keys. Actually, we found one in the laboratory, too. Here, the Earth key.
Lotus dug out a still warm key with an Earth symbol on it.
I might lose it. It's probably better if you hold on to it. That way it won't be my fault if it gets lost.
Yeah. On it.
And with that, she pressed it into Junpei's hand. He felt slightly less than honored.
Now we have 3 keys that we haven't used yet.
Yeah. The Jupiter key that we found in the operating room. The Saturn key card we found in the kitchen. And the Earth key Lotus just gave me.
Junpei tucked the new keys into his pocket. June spoke up.
The Jupiter key is supposed to be for the door at the end of that long, straight hallway, right?
Yeah. If the map's right, then it connects to the central staircase.
Too bad we can't get the sun key. That'd be powerful.
Then, next to the stairs...
Wait!
They were the first words anyone had heard out of Clover in quite some time, except for Junpei, who just had a nice long discussion about paradoxes. Her face suggested they weren't going to be very happy words.
What about door 3?
Look, you saw the map, right? It's the same as 7 and 8. Just lead us back to the big hospital room. There's no point to seeing what's on the other side of that door.
There is a point. At least there is for me.
There were tears in her eyes, but she glared at 7 as hard as she could, just the same. She looked very much like a frightened puppy. There wasn't a man alive who could have resisted those eyes. Have we hit the point I can skip? Yes. Avoid that whole awkward conversation. I'd weigh in on the whole fish conversation there, but I don't eat a lot of fish. Yeah, we gave Clover the bookmark, which caused her to talk about the which caused her to talk about what happened on the ship 9 years ago. And also, it pulled her a little bit out of her nearly panicked, worrying state. Mulk? What is this mulk? Ah, gotcha. Just making sure, you know, it wasn't something different from actual milk. Might have been milk specially formulated for cats. I don't know. That'd be a good name for something like that. There's your $1 billion industry idea right there. Yeah, but do they call it mulk? That would be the important thing. So anyway, the last door we need to go through is indeed door 1. Okay, let's see if I can actually get through this reasonably fast. Stack of charts. Write that down. Since we will need that in a minute. Let's see. Southwest. 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 West. East. North. Got that right? South and west, southwest, northwest, east, north. Stopwatch.
Oh, pocket watch.
Hey, man.
Oh, I just thought I'd come check.
Well, not a problem, but
That's a lie. I wanted to get rid of Ace. I sent him to the wheelhouse at the beginning for a reason.
Yeah, the boiler room, in my opinion, is the worst in the game. Basically because the boiler room leads to that second room with the freaking Sokoban puzzle in it. Hate it.
I wanted to talk to Clover alone. There's something I want to ask her, and I don't want anyone to overhear us. I'm pretty sure Clover won't talk if there's anyone else around. I'm a little desperate to send him back. Quick. He has to leave.
So most of this
Oh.
we've seen before.
I apologize for the intrusion. Well, best of luck.
I think this is actually going to be new, so Junpei let out a sigh and brushed a few drops of sweat from his forehead. He turned and found himself looking straight into Clover's eyes. She'd heard what Ace had said. She regarded Junpei with caution.
What was that about?
She was clearly suspicious, and with good reason. After all, it's Junpei.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Junpei's eyes widened, and he held up his hands in a gesture of innocence.
No, it's not like that.
What's it like then?
I just wanted to hear the rest of that story. I didn't get a chance to ask you about it until now.
What story?
About the experiment, remember? The one you started to tell me in the operating room? You said something about an experiment that happened here 9 years ago.
Clover bit her lip. She stared down at the floor for several long moments, and when she spoke, it was barely audible.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk about that right now. I'm just not in the mood, okay? You understand, right? I keep thinking about my brother. I can't stop. I mean, who would do something like that to my brother?
See, this time we're actually getting her to talk.
I can't forgive them. I'm not gonna let them get away with it. They're gonna pay for it. I promise. So...
Her shoulders were shaking. Drops of blood had sprung up on her lips where she was biting them. She wiped it off and looked at Junpei, her eyes fierce and angry.
Junpei, who do you think did it?
See you later, Maverinthia. Her voice was cold and scarcely above a whisper. Junpei gulped.
Well, if what Seven said was right, then there would have to be at least 2 of them. You need at least 3 people to open the numbered doors, and if you subtract Snake, that means there were at least 2 other people.
You're right. So, what does that mean?
Well, if we just look at the bracelet numbers, we should be able to figure it out. Who could have opened door 3 with Snake? Well, really, who and who, or who and who?
You mean it could have been 4 people?
Well, technically it's possible.
I don't know. That doesn't seem very likely.
Why?
I'll tell you later. Why don't we just assume it was only 2 other people for now?
Okay, got it. Let's do that then.
Then who do you think it could be?
Junpei crossed his arms and thought. Snake's bracelet number was 2. Which 2 bracelet numbers added to 2, which give a digital root of 3? Well, let's see, we need 11. So 7 and 8 is right out. Yeah, 1 and... None of these would... Ace would not get any of them. Santa and June would be 9. Santa and 7, 10. Santa and Lotus on this list are the only 3 that we get to... Oh, we need 10, don't we? Yeah, we need 10. What am I thinking? For some reason, I thought 11. I don't know why. But Santa and 7, I believe, are the only ones on here that add up to the 10 we need to get to 12.
Would it be Santa and 7? The digital route for Snake, Santa, and 7 is... 3! Wait, hold on. Are Santa and 7 the killers?
What's wrong?
Clover looked at Junpei, and he looked back at her. There was no point in hiding it.
Well, I thought about it, and...
He told her his conclusions.
That's what I thought.
She looked less surprised than he'd expected.
Santa and 7. If it was 2 people, then that's the only combination that works.
Hey, wait a minute there. Don't you think it's a little too early to be jumping to conclusions? Well, all I said is that those 2 would have been able to open door 3 with your brother. There might be other possibilities.
Well, what other possibilities?
He didn't have an answer. He was ready to admit defeat when Clover spoke.
Are you saying you think that it was 3 or 4 people? I really don't think that's likely.
Why not?
Can I borrow your pen and paper?
Clover put her hand out expectantly.
Yeah, here.
Junpei pulled out his pen and pad of paper and handed them to her. She opened the notebook and wrote down several simple addition problems. Eventually, she had 8, which provided a digital root of 3. And a whole lot of math going on.
What's this?
These are the combinations for 3 or 4 people. These 8 combinations are the only possible ones.
Oh, I see.
Junpei,
Yeah?
I can trust you, right?
On most things, no, but with murder, probably yeah.
Of course. Why would you need to ask that?
Really?
Yeah.
So then I should get rid of B, D, G, and H, right?
Of course. Just cross them out. And you should take off yours too. The ones with 4.
So, what does that leave?
A and E. Wait, it can't be A.
Why?
Because June's in that one. There's no way in hell she'd do something like that.
Are you sure?
I bet my life on it.
Okay then. I can cross off A too, right?
Yeah.
Well, what have we got left?
E.
Do you know what this means?
Everyone besides me, you, and June would be working together.
Do you think that's likely? If there were 4 people working together, they wouldn't be very cautious. I don't think they'd try that hard to hide what they were doing if they outnumbered us, right?
Well, you do have a point.
And besides, if Ace and 7 are working together, they could have easily gotten rid of me when I went to the shower room with them. But they didn't. They didn't even try anything. If they were killers, why wouldn't they?
Her voice was calm, but Junpei only had to look her in the eye to know it was a forced calm. There were tears forming at the corners of her eyes, and she was blinking furiously to keep them back. Perhaps by attempting an objective analysis of who might have killed her brother, she'd been able to distance herself from the harsh reality of his death. The more she struggled to act unconcerned, the more Junpei felt his heart tighten.
Oh, I see. Anyway, I understand now. It seems pretty unlikely that it was as many as 3 or 4 people.
Yeah,
Then that means there's a good chance it was Santa and Seven.
that's how it looks.
But why would they do it?
There was a moment of silence.
Their motive.
He laid his hand gently on her shoulder. He was close, so close to the answer. When Ace chose the worst possible moment to return. He raised a knowing eyebrow and then spoke.
Have I interrupted something?
Yes?
What is it?
There was something I wanted to speak with you about, Junpei. Could you come with me for a moment?
He turned on his heel and walked back towards the wheelhouse.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Junpei looked over at Clover. He gave her a short nod, hoped that she would be willing to talk to him again later, and followed Ace.
What did you want to talk about?
Yeah. Ace looked at Junpei and smiled, perhaps more of a smirk than a smile.
There was something I wanted to check.
Yeah? What's that?
If you'll excuse me.
With no warning, Ace slipped his hand into the pocket of Junpei's vest.
Hey, what the hell are you doing?
I'm just checking.
No, stop!
He reached for Ace's arm, but it was already too late. In the older man's hand were the pieces of paper Junpei had balled up and hidden in his pocket.
Just as I thought. What exactly are these pieces of paper hiding in your pocket? You switched them, didn't you, when we voted? Well, I can't say that I care. I managed to get through the numbered door I wanted, despite your mischief.
Then, why did you...
Oh, simple curiosity. I hope you won't think ill of me for it.
Ace smiled, gave Junpei a friendly pat on the shoulder, then turned on his heel and left. It was a small defeat, but it was a defeat. Junpei had lost the upper hand, and he knew it. He could feel his stomach begin to tense.
Damn.
So... I believe we've gotten everything out of here. And then back to north. All that just to get a handle. Nasty case of hiccups, huh? Oof. There we go. And then let's see what. Let Ace wind up the watch. Click on that door one last time. Get out of the room.